The Dragunov SVD in Ghost Recon Wildlands is definitely a solid choice for a semi-auto sniper, and it's received some very interesting updates as of recently from Ubisoft that you may not know about. What's up guys, Darkdally here, playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, and today I'm continuing my series on finding the right sniper rifle for you, what works, and I'm still kind of on the semi-auto sniper rifles, and today I want to take a look at the Dragunov SVD. Now this weapon is, well, the Dragunov sniper rifle system is a classic. It's a staple of squad support weapons around the world, and it's a really good solid sniper rifle in this game. I want to talk about some of the stuff you can do to it, how to modify it, how it's, stacks up to the other sniper rifles in the game. First, let's have a look at how I have it modified. It's one that's pretty easy to modify because there's really only one way to modify it. Let's go check it out here and look at the parts I've got. Now, me personally, I choose the compensated buttstock, but you can choose to go for the stock. I'm really not sure there's a huge difference. This weapon definitely has a very iconic buttstock, and I mean, some people may just prefer the look. I know I do prefer the look, but I still go for the compensated buttstock. I'm going to skip past the scope for now. I choose the 20-round magazine because I really don't think reload time is an issue for a sniper rifle of this caliber. The rangefinder and the standard barrel are both just givens. Now, the rangefinder does reduce bullet drop in this game, so you definitely want to equip the rangefinder on your rail. And the standard barrel, like the SR25, if we go here and look at it, is the longest of the barrels, so you definitely want that. If you choose the shorter barrel, you're looking at a good solid another foot with a bullet drop, just over 300 some meters, so you definitely want the standard barrel. Now, I did do that sniper rifle bullet drop comparison. I'm going to go ahead and put that on screen right now. Let's just get this out of the way so you can see where the Dragunov SVD bullet drop hit compared to other sniper rifles at 350 meters, and you can see it is kind of one of the lower ones, but it's not that bad. That said, I choose the T5XI scope. Now, what does a scope have to do with bullet drop? Well, a scope doesn't affect a bullet drop. I said this in the last video, and I've said this in many. It doesn't, but it can appear to, because different scopes have different zoom levels and appear differently in this game, and, well, some just shoot weird. There's another reason I'm using this scope for this rifle, and I will get to that shortly. Okay, I will get back to the scope thing. That's a big thing I want to talk about this rifle. Now, as far as Tier 1 mode, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. Here's the weapon I'm pairing it with. I have a level 30 L85A2. A lot of people use a lot of different weapons, and I have leveled and used a lot of different assault rifles in the game, and I choose to pair it with this one. But I will say this, the Dragunov SVD, being an anti-personnel weapon and not something you'd want to use against vehicles because it is semi-auto, means you're going to want some anti-vehicle capability somehow, and that's why I choose to pair it with an assault rifle with a grenade launcher. The reason I say that is playing tier mode, we all know how Unidad just loves to sneak up on us when we're in the middle of the road, tagging a convoy, or just running across the road, or just minding our own business. So I do recommend a short maneuverable assault rifle with a grenade launcher to pair with any semi-auto sniper. My personal choice right now is this L85A2. However, that also, I mean, has many, options previously. Perhaps I'm partial to the bullpups. I was using the TAR-21, and you can see I've leveled it up pretty decently, and I've also used the Mark 17. You can see I've also leveled it up. I use a lot of different stuff. Just right now I'm on this one. So let's go back and look at the Dragunov here. Now I want to compare it to the other semi-auto sniper rifles because that's its direct competition is the G28, the Mark 14, the SR25, right? Those are its direct competition. If you're trying to choose a semi-auto sniper rifle, let's say you're running with a squad and you have one or even more people who are using the HTI BDC, which is pretty common these days, maybe you don't need one of those and you want to run something that fires a little quicker so that when they take out the convoy vehicles or when they take out something big, you're there for support and you can fire quickly upon soft targets. So let's go ahead and have a look at this. First of all, the Dragunov SVD has a considerably slower fire rate compared to many of the other semi-auto snipers. Let's go equip one now. Let's go over here and let's equip it. Let's compare it to well, my last video compared the G28 to the SR25. So here, let's go ahead. Let's throw on the Mark 14 just for a range of comparisons. Now, I did when I was doing the parts, I kind of skipped over the muzzle. I personally prefer not to use any muzzle on my sniper rifles because I like the ability to take on and off a silencer at will. I like the ability to be able to suppress it or run it unsuppressed. And I'm really not sure that a compensator makes that big a difference when you're talking about a sniper rifle anyway. So, first of all, let's look at rate of fire. I'm just comparing it with the Mark 14, and I'll tell you why I'm doing that here in a second. Let's see what kind of rate of fire we can get out of this sucker. Okay, it doesn't fire that fast when you compare it to other weapons, such as the Mark 14 and the G28. Now, of the 4 semi-auto sniper rifles, the Mark 14 and G28 have a much higher fire rate than the SR25 and the Dragunov. So the question is, well, what comes after that? Well, let's have a look at the rifle itself. This rifle fires at 7.62 by 54mm rounds, just like the M1891, whereas this Mark 14 here fires the 7.62 by 51mm, if I'm not mistaken. Now, let me correct something right here. When I say 7.62, I know a lot of people immediately think of the AK-47. The AK-47 fires a 7.62 by 39mm round, and trust me, a 7.62 by 54mm like you get from this rifle dwarfs an AK-47 round. It's not, don't think that it's like, oh, it just fires the same. No. This is a legit sniper rifle which had its own ammo custom made for it, but it also fires regular 7.62 by 54, just like many other Russian rifles. Anyway, what does that matter in game? Well, it doesn't. Let's test these on some vehicles. Now, I've been doing this. I don't think it's not a measure of this rifle's damage, because if you're choosing a semi-auto sniper rifle, you're probably not going to be shooting vehicles with it. But it's just a measure to test one sniper rifle versus another. See, what I'm saying is here we have the Mark 14, which has an incredibly fast rate of fire, and here we have a Dragunov, which has a much slower rate of fire, more like the SR25. So let's actually compare it with the SR25. I think would probably be the better route. I think you all agree. Yes, indeed. Let's go ahead and let's, I don't know why I equipped the Mark 14. Let's go ahead and let's equip the SR25. Here we're going to have a much more comparable rate of fire. Yes, a very comparable rate of fire. What do the stats show? Because these stats are not always right on. Let's see what the stats say. The stats actually, look at that. See, here's what I'm talking about. Remember when I compared the G28 to the SR25 in the last video, and the rate of fire showed, well, about that much difference, but it was actually about 3 times greater rate of fire on the G28. Well, here we compare the SR25, the Dragunov, and it's actually showing the Dragunov with less rate of fire, but as you can clearly see, it with your naked eye, they have the same rate of fire. So stats, yeah, right, yeah. So that's why I like to test stuff. Let's test these two against each other. The 7.62 by 51mm SR25 versus the 7.62 by 54mm Dragunov. How do they compare against one another? And let's have a look at vehicle damage. Now, vehicle damage is different from personnel damage, but you guys know, if you know anything, you know I'm not a big fan of testing damage out. I just kind of like to compare against a good, solid, stationary target, such as a truck. So here's my standard testing vehicle right here, as you guys know. Let's just for a point of reference, let's just see how many shots it takes to kill it with an SR25. Actually, I'll tell you, it's 8. Yep, 8 shots. Just as I suspected. Now let's check out the Dragunov. Okay, and so here we have another identical test vehicle. Let's go ahead and let's pull out the Dragunov. Oh, we already got it out. Let's just see how many shots it takes with the Dragunov to take down the same exact vehicle with the same exact shot placement. Ten shots. Okay, so it actually takes a little bit more, even though they have the same rate of fire. Now, I don't know, you guys know I do live testing. I do all my videos live and unscripted, so I'm never really quite sure what's going to happen. The Dragunov took more rounds to defeat the vehicle. Now, vehicle damage is separate from soft target damage. I'm just not a fan of testing damage on enemies. But there is a small point of comparison there. Now, we've already seen how it performs on bullet drop. It's actually fairly low on the bullet drop. So, some people may say, why use the Dragunov at all? Well, unfortunately, more of my testing here is going to show you, is going to make you question that even more. I'm not saying it's a bad rifle. I think a lot of people use weapons for different reasons. I told you guys in the last video the reason I use the SR25 is because I like the platform that it's built upon. I'm a big fan of the AR-10 and AR-15, and the SR-25 is the perfect blending of those two frames. Now, as far as the Dragunov, well, a lot of the same preferences may come into play. This is a popular weapon, again, used worldwide in, various countries as a squad support weapon, and it has been a staple and still is of the Russian military to this day. Well, so anyway, so we have the same rate of fire. Let's get back on track here, guys. I'm sorry. We have the same rate of fire as the SR-25. Now, it has less vehicle damage. That doesn't mean anything, as to what it's going to do against soft targets, especially since I've leveled one up and not the other. Now, that was pointed out to me when I compared the SR-25 and my G28. See, my SR-25 is level 16 here. Let's slam some levels in this guy right now. See what we can do. I know, I take a lot of convoys, guys. Like, every video, I'm leveling up some weapon. I do a lot of convoys in my free time. Okay, so we got them to actually fairly comparable level. Now, what does that actually matter? Well, that's a question for a different video, because that's a whole nother topic. Now, when we look at the damage, it does say the Dragunov does more damage. We were testing against vehicles. There's no real solid way for me to test this on soft targets, at least not in this short little video today. We're not really worried about that anyway, because if you're shooting an unalerted target, as you should be with the sniper rifle, they're going to drop in one shot. Granted, however, I am tier 14. It's on extreme difficulty. It might actually take 2 shots. Actually, I will tell you right now, it will take 2 shots, a good solid 2 shots to take down an alerted target. But so too will this SR-25. I can verify that as well. There's no reason to demonstrate that. We're all in tier mode, or most of us are. So let's go check out one other aspect of this rifle that I really do want to test. Well, look at that. There's a chopper passing overhead. Perfect opportunity just to get an idea here. There's 1 shot. 2 shots. 3, 4, 5. Took 5 shots. The SR-25 takes 4 to shoot down an undead helicopter. So that's some more data right there. But again, well, while I say that you wouldn't want a semi-auto for the purpose of taking down vehicles, choppers flying overhead are always a concern, and, well, there's that, right, guys? Now, I have shown the Dragunov to have some drawbacks. For instance, it has the same rate of fire as the SR-25, but does less damage, at least against, immediate targets such as vehicles. But first, here, I want to show you this. Here we have the T5XI scope, and you see it shoots dead on. Well, of course, I mean, why wouldn't it shoot dead on with the T5XI scope? Why wouldn't it shoot dead on with every scope? Well, that's the problem with the Dragunov. Now, unless they fixed this, since I tested it last, let's go find out here. Let's go, this is the real shame for me, because I love this weapon, but here's the real shame, is the scope I want to run it with is the PKS-07, right? You want to run the most iconic Russian sniper rifles with the, Russian scope. Because it's got the Russian-style little chevron-shaped mil dots and everything. It's great. Here's the problem. When you fire it, they fixed it. Did they really fix it? They bloody well fixed it. Oh my god, guys. They fixed it. Let's try another one. What I was going to show you is that the Dragunov is notoriously off to the right with all the scopes, but the Russian scope being the most. Let's check out one of the other ones that it was. It was off with the Chinese scope here, the Russian scope, as well as it was questionable with, I think, the ACOG, if I recall. But I know it was off to the right with the POSP. Let's just test this and see. This is, I know they make changes to the game. They make tiny, minute changes they don't tell us about. Yeah, they fixed it. They fixed it, guys. Wow. So that's actually something cool. I came here to show you that the Dragunov is off with the scopes, and the reason I came here is because I was going to test it at range as well and on enemies, but apparently that's no longer needed. They fixed the Dragunov sights. Thank you, thank you. I'm so glad it works with the Russian scope now. Well, I'm running my Dragunov with a fucking PKS-07, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so that actually gives some merit to the Dragunov. But of course, then again, should you not take for granted that a sniper rifle shoots straight? Right? So the thing is, basically, the best sniper rifle to compare it against is the SR-25. And even though in real life, this actually fires a larger round with more powder, somehow the SR-25 actually does more damage. They have the same fire rate. Honestly, in this game, I gotta say, this is not a comparison video, this is a review of the Dragunov, but more importantly, this is a series on choosing the right sniper rifle for you. And if what you're looking for depends on aesthetics, like for instance, you noticed I had an L85A2 equipped. A lot of people would say, oh, you know, the ACR's better, or the M4A1's better, you know, or whatever. Yeah, but I like the L85 for aesthetic reasons. That's why I'm currently using it. And that's totally valid. In this game, all the weapons are on a pretty level playing field. So I've got to say, honestly, if you're thinking about the Dragunov, choose the SR25. It's simply a better rifle in every way. But hey, at least the Dragunov shoots straight now. If you saw my previous test video of it where I tested the bullet drop, it's the same video I got the image from that I showed you earlier. I will link my original test of the Dragunov in the description below, as well as the top left corner of the screen. So here's the thing. SR25 outperforms it in, as far as I can see, every single way. But hey, if you want to use this, use it. It's definitely viable, and at least it shoots straight now, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to end this here. Thank you so much for watching. I just want to be able to give whatever tips or advice or, you know, testing results I can to help people find the right sniper rifle for them. This was the Dragunov, and this concludes the part on the semi-auto sniper rifles. Next, we're moving on to bolt action, and that's a whole different ball of wax. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for daily videos, updates, and everything. And if you want to know about how to get into my Discord or play with me in co-op, check out my Patreon site. The link is in the description below. Seriously, those are the guys I really hang with. And guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Darkdally. I will catch you all next time.